Okay, we're still simplifying radicals. And in this time, I wanted to do this one because of this negative underneath the radical. Wanted to kind of make sure and go over that and talk about what's going on there. Okay, so here we have the cube root of negative 16 x to the ninth. Now, if you'll remember, we can take the cube root of a negative number. We can take the odd root, actually, of a negative number. We just can't take the even root. So 16 is not a perfect cube. So we need to try and think of two things that multiply together to get 16. And one of them should be a perfect cube. So how about if we rewrite that as negative 8 times 2, and then we could take the cube root of each one of those. We could also then use our x to the ninth, because remember that shortcut that we talked about before, 3 will go into 9 evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that. Now, taking the cube root of what we can. The cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. So we can do that. We can't do the cube root of 2, but we can do the cube root of x to the ninth, because 3 will go into 9 3 whole times. So that would be x cubed, and then we still have our cube root of 2. Now this is that fully simplified. Remember, we don't have to worry about absolute value bars when we're working with cube roots. Those are okay to be negative numbers. Okay, lastly, let's work on this one here. Here we have the cube root of 8x cubed minus 8y cubed. Now you might be tempted to break this up into separate cube roots, but you cannot. Because of this minus sign, that makes this two terms. Whenever you have terms, your options are much, much more limited than whenever you have multiplication like we had over here. Now the only thing we can do here is, hopefully you notice that these both have an 8 in common. So we could factor that common factor of 8 out. If we do that, now we have the cube root of 8 times x cubed minus y cubed. And now we could literally break that into two separate cubes. This literally says 8 times x cubed minus y cubed. And then we could take the cube root of each one of those. The cube root of 8 would be 2. And again, we cannot separate these out because this subtraction sign makes it two terms. And because this itself is not a perfect cube, we really can't simplify it any further than that. So our answer here would be 2 times the cube root of x cubed minus y cubed.